This is the Real Philosophy Podcast, all things philosophical. Welcome to the Real Philosophy Podcast. Happy to have you all here. This is the first ever episode of this podcast. And today we're going to talk about, how to be philosophical. So what really is philosophy? Philosophy in practice is really the ability to come up with your own ideas about life. It's also all about asking questions. Without questions, philosophy cannot exist. Here's the kicker. Well, if you don't know how to ask questions, then philosophy, really isn't for you. Now, let's really get into this, shall we? So, a lot of philosophers, and especially every single one of them really, debate life and come up with their own ideas about life. And a good example of philosophy is this question or this scenario. Imagine there's a forest, and imagine that no one is there, but there's a tree. That tree falls down. If no one is there to hear that tree fall down, was there really any sound? And that tackles a lot of questions because in theory, when you're near a tree and you hear it fall, you hear the actual sound of the tree. For example, let me play an audio clip. And I know that this may sound redundant, but let me play an audio clip of a tree falling, and you'll hear what I mean. So in theory, that sound you heard, that's the sound of a falling tree. But if you weren't there to hear it, the bigger question is, would there have been a sound in the first place? Or would the sound, again, just not exist? And it's hard to tell because let's think of it this way. Even though there might be no one there to hear it, could the universe possibly hear that tree fall? And the funny thing is, imposing that no one's nearby, what about other animals in the region? Let's assume that, or in the forest, let's assume that animals are, they're not there, okay? No animals nearby at all. So in theory, the universe could possibly hear it, but it's up for debate. Leave your thoughts in the comments below in this recording. So, that's essentially what really philosophy is. It's diving into the meat and potatoes of what life actually is, the unanswered questions that we all have, and the ideas that we come up with. For example, some philosophers theorize that life is all about suffering. And the mindset is, or the idea is that wherever there is pleasure, there is always pain. Pain is always the constant. Pleasure's just the temporary break from pain. And to a lot of their credit, to a lot of philosophers' credit, that is true to a lot of extent. In life, we suffer with loss, we suffer with a lot of things. And it sometimes is really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So now, to the listener, what are your thoughts on all of this? And if you have any, write them in the comments. I enjoyed making this first episode. I know the first episode wasn't that long, and I guarantee it, the episodes will be longer, but Yeah, I know that this has been pretty short, but remember, in order to really develop the skill of philosophy and to develop that practice, just remember, always ask questions and always be open to learning. Philosophy is not for you if you're not open to learning. So, take it easy, keep learning, be authentic, and embrace philosophy. And remember, this is the Real Philosophy Podcast, all things philosophical. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.